Everybody, so today I decided I'm going to be doing a deck profile on my new deck, Ghostricks. This is a new deck. A lot of people like them already, but if you're trying to figure out, what to put in them, this is what I'm running, and it's been working really well for me. So, for starters, I got 2 copies of Tour Guide from the Underworld. Just a really easy way to set up for rank 3s, and since I want to get out Alucards fast. This is a really good way to go. And then I follow her up with 1 copy of Tour Bust from the Underworld. Just as easy to run Knight Assailant, but I like to recycle my stuff a little bit more, so I went with Tour Bust. This is a lot because I can, if I go Tour Guide to Tour Bust, then I can really easily use her effect to throw her back into the deck, and then I can get these 2 as an overlay later. So that's always fun. 3 copies of Ghostrick Lantern. Ghostrick Lantern is like a battle fader. If a face-up Ghostrick is attacked, face-down Ghostrick is attacked, that tough cookies. But there's ways around that too, and that's another reason why you want your Alucard out here fast, because if I get a first turn Alucard and then I have a Ghostrick Lantern in hand, I can block an attack on my Lantern, or an attack on my Alucard Lantern to go face down. 3 copies of Ghostrick Spectre. Ghostrick Spectre, if a Ghostrick is destroyed, you can reveal it and special summon it face down, and then you get to draw a card from your deck. So this will just help you get through your deck a little bit faster while still giving you field presence. 3 copies of Ghostrick Stein. Ghostrick Stein is a searcher. Whenever he does battle damage, he gets to search out a Ghostrick spell or trap. But one thing that's important to note with Stein, Spectre, and Lantern, all 3 of these guys, is that all 3 of these have 0 defense. And so with Dark Monsters with 0 defense, that makes them all reoccurring Nightmareable, and since I've got 3 of each of them, that makes 9 targets right there for reoccurring Nightmare. And then there's more coming in the next set, which is even better. 3 copies of Ghostrick Jangashi. Whenever she is flipped face up, you get to go ahead and search for a Ghostrick monster equal to or less than the number of Ghostricks that you already have on the field. So if she gets flipped up in a battle, then you can automatically search out Ghostrick Spectre and immediately special summon it and draw a card. So she's awesome even if she's alone. 2 copies of Ghostrick Ghoul. Ghostrick Ghoul lets you pump up the attack of 1 Ghostrick monster, and that monster can attack. This is a good way to get over the beaters that you may be having a problem with on your opponent's side of the field. 2 copies of Ghostrick Ukiona. Excuse me. This card is just a pain in the butt for any opponent. If she gets destroyed, her effect is she'll flip the opponent's monster face down that destroyed her, and that monster cannot change its battle position, so it's permanently stuck face down. It's also important to note with all the Ghostricks, I kind of skimmed over this, that all the Ghostricks have an ability where once per turn they can flip themselves into face down defense position, and this is a tactic they use for defense and to build themselves up. I'll show that here in a minute. But that does it for the monsters. Now, as for spells, I've got 3 copies of Ghostrick Mansion. Now, Ghostrick Mansion has an ability that says if I have a face-down defense position monster, it can't be attacked. If I have a face-up attack position monster, you can still attack that one. Same thing goes for my opponent. If all my opponent's monsters are face-down defense, I can attack them directly because all the monsters are in defense, and they can attack me directly. The thing is if anything but a Ghostrick is attacking, that damage is cut in half. So very advantageous for Ghostricks. And this is why all your Ghostricks want to keep going face down, and the Alucards defend all the face downs. And you run things like this: 2 copies of Swords of Concealing Light. Swords of Concealing Light will take every monster that your opponent has and flip it face down for 2 turns. This means you can attack right over the top of them, can lock down your opponent's field if they have a full field, which is really, really nice. Because yeah, if your opponent has tried to stop you and they field rushed you and then you Swords can Sin Light them, that's usually enough to hold you off for a game. 2 copies of Mystical Space Typhoon, because who doesn't need MSTs? 1 copy of Allure of Darkness. 1 copy of Book of Moon. 1 copy of Book of Life. A good handful of the Ghostricks are zombies. The ghouls are zombies. The Jingashi, which is the Searcher, is a zombie. And the Stein, which is a Searcher, is a zombie. So, really, like, between that right there, that's enough to make Book of Life worth running to me, because Reborn's banned now, and I like banishing stuff of other people's. 1 copy of Reoccurring Nightmare. Like I said before, I have 9 monsters in the deck that have 0 defense and are dark, so they qualify for Reoccurring Nightmare. And to be able to get back the Lanterns and Specters, Spectre, that's a draw engine right there. So I'm just plussing all over the place if I bring Spectre back to my hand, and then Lantern can block direct attacks, which is just wonderful. It can also defend the Ghostricks, which is wonderful. Alright. 3 copies of Ghostrick Scare, now getting into the trap cards. Ghostrick Scare is absolutely awesome because you take all the Ghostricks you have face down, you flip them face up. For every Ghostrick that you have face up now, you can face down a opponent's monster. So you can effectively Book of Moon your opponent's entire field. And that's just awesome. Like, they hit the battle phase and you're like, yeah, how about you don't attack me and all your monsters go face down and my Alucard will start popping face downs. It's brutal. 2 copies of Mirror Force. Pretty standard. 2 copies of Fiendish Chain. This is the only monster negation I really have in the deck, so it kind of becomes really important to me. Also, because it can block the attacks, I can lock my opponent down that way, so they're not attacking over my face down defense position Ghostricks and hitting my life points, so that's nice. 1 copy of Solemn Warning, because it's warning. 1 copy of Compulse, because it's Compulse. And 1 copy of Bottomless, because it is bottomless. Pretty self-explanatory there. There's a reason there's some of the best trap cards in the game. Alright, 3 copies of Ghostrick Alucard. Ghostrick Alucard is the monster I overlay for 90% of the time in this deck. If you have him face up, face downs and other Ghostricks cannot be attacked. And once per turn, you can detach a Ghostrick monster from Alucard, and that will pop a face down your opponent controls. Whether that's a monster or face down back row is up to you. 1 copy of number 54, Lionheart. I do have a good quantity of level 1s between Spectres and Lanterns, so you can actually bring him out, and he's just nasty. His effect, if he attacks, basically whatever the monster your opponent has out that he attacks, you can do double damage to him by detaching one, and you take nothing, and he won't be destroyed. 1 copy of Slacker Magician, again because of the level 1s and rank 1. Gachi Gachi Getsu, 1 copy. I do have a couple of level 2 monsters, and occasionally I'll go for a rank 2, and Gachi Gachi can pump up my monsters, which is always nice when I'm going for the over attack with the Mansion. 1 copy of Chronomaly Crystal Chrononaut, kind of a weird choice, but sometimes you want to have a face-up monster, because if I have a Crystal Chrononaut face up in my field and all my other monsters are face down, my opponent has to attack my Crystal Chrononaut before they can attack my life points directly, and you don't want to attack the Crystal Chrononaut because it'll just take a whole bunch of damage. 1 Mech-equipped Angler. 1 copy of Miserium, the String Djinn. This is really just because it's a rank 3 that can boost up to 3,000, and that's just nice. I've also got my Acid Golem, which is at 3,000, but we all know that there are problems that come about when you have an Acid Golem on your side of the field for too long, so sometimes it's better to just go for the String Djinn. 1 copy of number 20 Giga Brilliant. Giga Brilliant, it's awesome if you can pump up all your Ghostricks and then go over for attacks. 1 copy of Levier the Sea Dragon, it's Levier. 1 Battlecruiser Dantalus. 1 number 49 Fortune Tune, and 1 number 17 Leviathan Dragon. Alright, now for I've had some other some people ask me about some text that they've seen me play online that I've been trying out. So the first one is one of the big changes, and I might make this change in real life, but dropping my Solemn Warning and Bottomless. I really just don't want my opponents to summon monsters. But I have tried siding these out for a couple different cards. The first 2 cards that I tried were Wabakus. This is because I don't mind if my Ghostricks end up face up, because I can defend them actually easier sometimes, like with lanterns. But at the same time, Wabaku only got me so far, and it would just bait me out for a turn. The other card that I've absolutely found is amazing to run in Ghostricks, and I'll be picking up 2 copies at locals tomorrow, is a really old common called Gravity Axe Grarl, and here's why. The first reason is because of cards like this, Ghostrick Scare, or another card we're running in here is Swords of Concealing Light. Now if I do something nasty, like put a Ghostrick Alucard on my field, and activate, I don't have a copy of it, but if I was to activate a copy of Gravity Axe Grarl and equip it to him, it increases attack by 500, but more importantly it says that no one can manually position change. Okay, now that kind of sucks for me too, because I won't be able to flip my Ghostricks back up and back down, but I only need to flip them face down once because I run 2 copies of Ghoul, and Ghoul is going to be able to let me take advantage of all the Ghostricks that I have out. Grab my Ghoul here. I'm just going to throw a couple other Ghostricks on the field here so we can all see what's about to happen. So I have all my Ghostricks face down, and I can put them face down even if they were face up when I equipped, because it's an effect that's flipping them face down. Now I'm going to go ahead and set my Ghostrick Scare, and as soon as my opponent goes, I'm going to activate that Ghostrick Scare. Hopefully they've summoned, they have a full field, or close to it. Now I'm going to flip up all my Ghostricks. When Ghostricks all go face up, the opponent's monsters all go face down. Now because of the equip card, they're locked face down. They're going to have to stay face down. My opponent's not going to be able to flip them and overlay them later. They're not going to be able, and this just puts them into a lockdown scenario, because unless they have a tribute monster, which we all don't run very many of in our decks, if we run any at all, I mean, dragons can sometimes get around it if they have enough in their hand already, or if they have enough left in their graveyard to be able to get stuff, But yeah, that's an absolutely wonderful combo and can lock down a lot of decks. So anyway, there you go. There you have it. That's my Ghostrick deck. I hope this has been helpful to anyone who is wanting to build Ghostricks. They're a lot of fun. Currently, I am 52-8 with this build online between Dual Network and Dev Pro.